Okay, everyone, welcome back to TowerGate video 500, part 2. Let's continue where we left off. Okay, we left off with TowerGate Day 19, March 22nd, 2016, when Devin Nunes says that the Trump and his team were spied on because Devin Nunes had gone over to a skiff to look at the unmasked conversations, which we now know is largely Susan Rice and Samantha Power, possibly Ben Rhodes, others doing hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of unmasking, including on the very last day that Obama was in the White House, January 20th, Inauguration Day, they were doing unmasking. Then we moved to TowerGate Day number 29, April the 1st, 2017. April 1st, 2017. Nunes knows who unmasked the intel. That was the title of that video. Nunes knows who unmasked the intel. Uh-oh. That was the title of the video. And of course he didn't tell us. He couldn't tell us, but we now know it was Susan Rice, primarily. And it appears that Samantha Power, although she claims someone else is using her name to do the unmasking, and we suspect that Ben Rhodes was also probably an unmasker as well. Maybe Sally Yates. Who knows? Maybe Valerie Jarrett. We still haven't gotten totally to the bottom of all the unmasking, but I'm sure we will. TowerGate Day 40. TowerGate Day 40. April the 12th, 2017. FBI sought warrant on Carter Page. Way back in April of 2017, we were talking about the fact that they got a warrant on Carter Page. If you remember, totally denied it. Oh, what do you mean we got a warrant on Carter Page? We never got a warrant on Carter Page. Carter Page, who's Carter Page? We wouldn't do anything like that. We didn't do anything like that. Totally denied. Totally denied. And what do we get today on day 500? The entire application of 4 FISA warrants taken out on Carter Page based on lies to the FISA court. But back on April 12, 2017, day 40 of TowerGate, FBI sought warrant on Carter Page, and they denied it. Denied everything. As they've always done and continue to do. Until they finally get caught, and they cannot deny it anymore, then the only thing they can say is, oh yeah, but we had a good reason. And we're finding out they didn't. We'll get to that too. TowerGate Day 46, April the 18th, 2017. Major news. It was a Clinton operation. The dam is breaking. That was the title of my video that day. So just 40 some odd days in, what I suspected on the very first day I did a TowerGate video, that it had Clinton fingerprints all over it, something occurred in the information on day 46, April 18th of 2017, that told me that it was a Clinton operation and that the dam is breaking. And I can't remember exactly what that piece of information was, but it wasn't, it may have been that we suspected, or it may have been that we learned that Perkins Coie was the law firm who hired Fusion GPS, who hired Christopher Steele. That may have been, at that point in time, what we learned, but Clinton herself and her campaign still had not admitted publicly that they were behind the dossier. She was still denying it. She didn't come out and admit it until around October of 2017, a year later. She denied it for the longest time, even though everyone knew it. She continued to deny it until she couldn't deny it anymore. Because Perkins Coie themselves and Confusion GPS themselves came out and said, yeah, well, we were working for the rotten Reverend Clinton and the DNC, which she controlled. TowerGate, Day 48, April 20th, 2017. Confirmed, here's a title, confirmed FISA warrant based on dossier. Think about that. April 20th of 2017, confirmed FISA warrant based on dossier. So back as far as April 20th, 2017, we knew that the FISA warrant on Carter Page was based on the dossier. But they denied it and denied it and denied it and denied it. Up until a few months ago when they finally had to admit it, and today, or yesterday I should say, last evening, we get the actual application, the FISA documents, which clearly show not just one, but 4 FISA applications on Carter Page after they denied it for months and months and months and months and accused us of being conspiracy theorists and liars. Once again, just like everything else you're going to see, we knew about a lot of this stuff and suspected a long time ago, and when it was ever brought out, we were just accused of being liars. Then I did a TowerGate video right after that, and it did not have a day number on it, but it did have a date. I just did TowerGate will be bigger than Watergate, April 21st, 2017. April 21st, 2017. And with that release of the FISA application yesterday, as we sit here at day 500, I would say now, even though no one's had to resign yet, that is already now as big as Watergate. Because we now have about a dozen of the very top people in the Obama administration, FBI and DOJ, that perjured themselves on a FISA warrant. And it leads everywhere. TowerGate, day 55, April 2017. Christopher Steele files legal brief. This is the first time that we really heard Christopher Steele's position. And what we learned from that brief, that legal brief that he filed, that's where he came out and said, hey, I never said this stuff was true. I said it was raw intelligence, that it was unverified. It needed to be checked out. I was just passing it along to the State Department and the FBI and the intel community saying, hey, you guys may want to take a look at this. And of course I was working for Confusion GPS, who was working for the right Reverend Clinton and all that. But that was when we actually first heard from Christopher Steele to see whether or not he would back it. And when push came to shove, when it came down to him going into and actually having to sign off on a legal document that he could have been held accountable for, criminally liable for, when the rubber hit the road, Christopher Steele did not cover anybody's butt but his own. And he said, raw intelligence, unverified. Never meant to get FISA warrants or launch investigations. Just meant something for them guys to take a look at. And they ran with it. That was April 17th, 2017. TowerGate, day 68, May 10th, 2017. A day we all remember very well. Comey fired. And Rand Paul fired up. TowerGate, day 117, July 29th, 2017. TowerGate, day 117, July 29th, 2017. Almost a year ago. Title of the video, New York Post claims Steele was paid $250,000. So, who paid him? And I remember that video very well. And I remember that story very well. And everyone talking about how it was leaked to the New York Post. I don't think it was actually a leak. It was actually Paul Sperry who wrote the story, and it wasn't a leak. It was more of his investigation, his investigative journalism that produced that. But it was the first time, it wasn't the first time people started questioning whether or not Hillary paid for it. And he's asking a rhetorical question here. He's already made it pretty clear who he is certain paid for it. And everyone else already knew. It wasn't a secret. We'd been talking about for 3, 4, 5, 6 months before that who it was obvious would have paid for it. Obvious. But Clinton and her people kept denying. So everyone was going, well, yeah, we all think it's Clinton, but they keep denying it. And as much as they've denied it, maybe they're telling the truth. Maybe it wasn't them. Maybe it was someone else. Maybe it was one of her supporters, a backer, Soros, or someone like that. Because she would never come clean. None of these people ever come clean until they're absolutely caught red-handed, and the documents and the facts and the evidence catch them red-handed. Then they have no choice. They have to find another excuse for why they did it, because they can no longer claim they didn't do it. And it was at this time that everyone was still trying to nail it down. And I believe that was Paul Sperry in the New York Post. I'm almost 99% sure. That title, that video that day, New York Post claims Steele was paid $250,000. So who paid him? TowerGate, day 148, July 31st, 2017. Trump goes on offense. Finally. Trump goes on offense. Finally. So this was July the 31st of 2017. Day 148. So what this signals is a turning point. Because up until this time, we had just been getting, and Trump, I should say, had just been getting beat and beat and beat and beat. And there was no one out there really defending him. And anyone who tried to defend him, would get attacked. And if you tried to question all the things we were questioning, the surveillance and all these types of things, who paid for the dossier, Christopher Steele and all these things, was the dossier true and all this? You had all these people on the left, including many anti-Trump Republicans. Oh, we believe the dossier. Christopher Steele, he's a former MI6 agent, head of the Russia desk. There's got to be some truth to this. And Carter Page and Manafort, these guys are all kind of crooked. And so up to that point, it had been 148 days of hell. Hell. Pure misery. I know. I was doing these videos. And we were just getting beat on and beat on and beat on. Because we could never really get an investigation onto the perps. Because they were controlling everything. We didn't know exactly to what extent at that time. But it was but I don't know if it was totally clear at that time. We certainly suspected FBI, CIA were up to no good. But we were still pretty much counting on them to try to get to the bottom of it. We didn't know at that time the extent that they were involved as well. Which we now know today. But that was really the day when fighting back began. That's the day that certain people, the Freedom Caucus members, not so much Trump, he'd always been fighting back, but that was the point in time when we actually now saw, people saying, we actually need to really investigate that surveillance. Were there really people in the campaign? We need to really look at that dossier. Who paid for that? Who got that going? Who were the sources? So that's really when the tide began to turn, and we actually began to see, instead of being completely on defense and being attacked constantly, that's when we actually started moving into a more offensive position and started fighting back to try to get to where we are today. And keep in mind, the Mueller investigation is well underway at this time. TowerGate Day 192, September 14th, 2017. Rice, talking about Susan Rice, admits to unmasking Trump officials and more. Remember, she goes on TV, first says when she's accused, she goes on TV, I don't know what you're talking about. Unmasking? What's that? What's unmasking? Then a week later, when it's proven that she was the one, by Devin Nunes, proven and leaked, that she was the one, then she had to go back on TV a week later and say, unmasking, we did some unmasking, but it wasn't political. And now we know all about it. Mrs. Rice, prepare yourself for prison. You're in a lot of trouble. You will be indicted. Susan Rice admits to unmasking Trump officials and more. September 14th, 2017. TowerGate, day 193. No date, but we can assume it was probably sometime second week of September 2017. TowerGate, day 193. FBI paid $100,000 for dossier. Senator Magoo brokered the deal. FBI paid $100,000 for the dossier. Senator Magoo brokered the deal. This still has not really been proven with evidence. My guess is they probably have the evidence and probably could prove it. My guess is this is one of them things they don't want coming out. Especially Republicans do not want this coming out. But eventually it will. Eventually it will. And it makes perfect sense today, more sense than it made back then. Because we didn't know back then how early Senator Magoo was and how involved he was. But now, today, it makes perfect sense. TowerGate Day 198, September 20th, 2017. TowerGate Day 198, September 20th, 2017. Trump was wiretapped at Trump Tower. That's when we knew Trump was wiretapped at Trump Tower. Or that we learned of it. we can assume he learned of it a long time before that. He knew what we all found out on September 20th, 2017. Trump was wiretapped at Trump Tower. And if I remember correctly, that was because we got the story from, I don't remember if it was BBC or Paul Wood or who it was, but someone did a story which they had very good evidence apparently to back up their story that British intelligence had been used by the American CIA, that would have been Mr. Potato Head, to surveil Trump Tower. TowerGate, and that, of course, still is a point a lot of people dispute. That will eventually be proven as well. TowerGate, day 254, November 17, 2017. Clinton campaign created the PP-Gate story. Yeah, I remember that quite well. There was a British journalist, I believe he's from The Guardian. He wrote a story. Everybody is talking about the PP-Gate story, whether it's true, whether it's false, whatever, and the fact that it was in the dossier. And then this journalist from The Guardian, whose name escapes me for the moment, he writes an article, he writes a story in The Guardian that says, oh, well, you know, yeah, it may have been in the dossier, but I knew about it a long time before that because I was in constant communication with people in the Clinton campaign, and one of the people on her campaign sent me an email telling me about this PP-Gate story before the dossier was ever even heard of. So this was apparently a dirty trick, a slander that they came up with in the Hillary Clinton campaign and tried to get it out there to members of the media via The Guardian and probably others. Most people probably wouldn't run the story, but then it eventually shows up in the dossier. Found its way into the dossier. Probably cooked up by Cody Shearer. And when they probably said, well, you know, since we're going ahead with this Carter Page and Manafort stuff that we're doing on this dossier, that we got Fusion GPS and Chris Steele hooking up for us, why don't we just have to sex it up a little bit? Why don't we go ahead and toss your PP-Gate story and go ahead and give Glenn Simpson fax that over to Glenn and let him go ahead and put that in or fax it to Steele or someone and let him go ahead and include that in the dossier as well. That's why we ended up getting 2 or 3 versions of it. Yes, indeed. TowerGate, day 265, November the 28th, 2017. Title of that video, Hillary, Dossiers, and Surveillance. Hillary, Dossiers, and Surveillance. TowerGate, day 272. Peter's been stroking us. Peter Strzok, exposed. That was the title of the video. Peter Strzok, exposed. That's when we first learned about Peter's been stroking us. TowerGate, day 275. Assistant Attorney General, although he wasn't the Assistant Attorney General, he was the number 4 man at the DOJ, NSD. Bruce Orr met with Glenn Simpson and Christopher Steele. That was on that TowerGate video with day 275 was on December the 8th, 2017. So on December 8th, 2017 is when we learned that Bruce Orr met with Glenn Simpson and Christopher Steele. And then we learned a week later that his wife, Nellie, worked for Confusion GPS. Both those things happened about a week apart. TowerGate, day 297, December 30th, 2017. Lindsey Graham confirms dossier was used to get FISA warrant. What did we get yesterday? The proof. Exactly. Because Lindsey Graham, as I was telling you earlier, along with other members of Congress, looked at the almost completely unredacted version of what we got last night. So he knew, just like all these other guys, knew for a fact that the dossier was the number 1 thing used to get the FISA warrants. Day 297, December 30th. But we're just now, 6 months later, getting to look at a heavily redacted version of what they saw 6 months ago. And they should be way ahead of us. Why aren't they? TowerGate, day 307. January the 10th, 2018. Son of Nuo. This is the title of the video. Son of Nuo. Hyphen. FBI had inside man in Trump campaign. TowerGate Day 307, January the 10th of 2018. Son of Nuo did his video where he pointed out that the FBI had an inside man in the Trump campaign. And he turned out to be damn straight. Damn right. Perfectly correct. In fact, now we know there was at least 2 or 3, maybe 4. God knows how many. But on January 10th of 2018, Son of Nuo did his video, which told us the FBI had a man inside the Trump campaign. TowerGate Day 322, January 25th, 2018. The Rotten Reverend Clinton had control of how the dossier was used. This was Paul Sperry in the New York Post. January 25th of 2018, Paul Sperry writes, quote, HRC, the Rotten Reverend Clinton, had control of how the dossier was used. Paul Sperry, the New York Post, tells us everything we need to know. Goes back to my very first 2 or 3 TowerGate videos when I said her fingerprints are all over it. And we will get there too. Believe me. TowerGate Day 330, February the 7th, 2018. My title of that video, What is Worse Than an FBI/DOJ Presidential Frame-Up? Day 330, February 7th, 2018. The day that I first locked my mind onto exactly everything that was going on, the informants, their surveillance, and everything else, and realized what we're looking at here is a frame-up. That was the first time I used the phrase frame-up. Now everybody is using the phrase frame-up, and they're right. I'm glad they finally got caught up. February 7th, 2018, I first used the term frame-up. TowerGate Day 334, February 6, 2018. Grassley drops bombshell. State Department official briefed Christopher Steele. We now know that was Jonathan Weiner, who then got the dossier, took it to Christopher Newland, who passed it to Kerry, and it somehow found its way into the FBI. And of course, the very next day, TowerGate Day 355, February 27th, of the next TowerGate video, Jonathan Weiner was Steele's primary intermediary for the dossier. This is when we really started to see that the State Department was involved, and this is when Devin Nunes, getting the same information, launched his investigation into the role the State Department played, and now we know it was a big one. Big one. Big role. In fact, the State Department and the CIA were involved even before the FBI. TowerGate Day 368, March 12th, 2018. GCHQ head met with John Brennan in D.C. in the summer of 2016. Wasn't enough that they were spying on us, so he made a personal visit and hand-delivered materials to Brennan. Probably directly from Halper. Probably from Halper. TowerGate Day 369, March 13th, 2018. State Department's Victoria Nuland put the dossier into play. Exactly. Created by the intelligence community, passed on to the State Department so that they could move it into the realm of the FBI. Exactly what they did. That was the plot. TowerGate Day 391, April 6, 2018. John Brennan in the crosshairs. TowerGate Day 393, April 8th, 2018. 99-page FISA court document goes mainstream. It had already been out for 3 or 4 months, and that, I believe, when I wrote that and did that video, it was because Joe DeGeneva was on Fox or some other station. I think, no, actually wasn't on Fox. It was on a radio show. He was on a radio show, and he first said the words 99-page FISA court document, which we had already been talking about on TowerGate for months. TowerGate Day 407, April 22nd, 2018. Comey's comments tie Brennan and Clapper to the crime. Comey's comments tie Brennan and Clapper to the crime. That was April 2018. TowerGate Day 408, April 23rd, 2018. Nunes tells Bartiromo no intelligence in the electronic communication. that could have began the investigation. That's when they all started suspecting, hey, guess it didn't start with the FBI. Then who did it start with? And then I sent him a letter and told him. TowerGate, May 11th, 2018. Breaking. FBI had spy inside the Trump campaign. From the Wall Street Journal, Kimberly Strassel. Day 429, May 13th, 2018. Stefan Halper set up meeting between Downer and Papadopoulos. TowerGate, day 434, May 18th, 2018. New York Times. Operation Crossfire Hurricane analyzed. Part 1 of 3. It was a 3-part video that day. TowerGate, day 443, May 27th, 2018. Clapper says Obama didn't know about informant. We now know that's a lie. Another one that Clapper told. He's told many, unwittingly. TowerGate, day 453, June the 3rd, 2018. The deep state coup has failed. Operation Crossfire Hurricane was a cover-up. TowerGate, day 452, June 6, 2018. 6-agency task force. Spread it far and wide. That's when I first discovered the 6-agency task force, obviously. TowerGate, day number 468. Steele gives deposition in London and Hillary's wiener problem. That was June 21st of 2018. TowerGate, day 496, July 19, 2018. Rand Paul talks about Brennan's secret CIA task force before Sean Hannity cuts him off. TowerGate, day number 498, July 21st, 2018. Clapper admits Obama set sequence of events for Mueller probe. Day 498, July 21st, 2018, just 2 days ago. Clapper admits Obama set sequence of events for Mueller probe. Very damning statement by Clapper. Sure, he heard about it. He effed up. TowerGate, day 500, July 22nd, 2018. FISA application released. Proves all we said over the last 2 years is true, and much, much more. So that's just a brief. Believe me, there were many other things. I just had to try to keep it down. I couldn't. There's probably 100 flashpoints. I hit on about 50 of them, maybe less. But there we go, and there's where we are. Been a long ride. We're about maybe 20, 25% of the way there. But the way that these things work is first that they happen very, very slowly, then very quickly. Things go very slow, and then very quickly. And it will all begin to completely turn when the first indictment is handed down. That's why they don't want to turn down the first indictment. That's why they have not indicted McCabe. Because they know as soon as they indict McCabe, everyone else is going to go, oh shit, there are indictments. And the first one's McCabe. And then McCabe's going to go, I told you, if you guys throw me under the bus, I'm going to burn this effing thing down. McCabe will start singing. Lisa Page is concerned. She knows, probably, the truth's coming out. No one wants to be second in line to spill the beans. Because by then, they don't need you anymore. Sorry, you're late. He beat you to it. Eventually, the first indictment will come down. And when that happens, the dominoes will fall. Whether that's a month from now, a year from now, 2 years from now, I don't know. But I'm on this story. I've been on it for 500 videos, and I ain't stopping till people are in jail. The perps, who I just named. Because it's 2 videos, it will take me some time to get these both uploaded for you. The first video should be up probably around, I would say, 8 o'clock in the morning. But there'll probably be a delay to get the second one up. Probably won't be till later in the afternoon, just because I gotta go. Gotta go to work. I come back, I can because I have to, once the video uploads, you got to actually come back and press the publish button. It won't go live until you press publish. So it'll finish uploading while I'm gone, but I can't make it go live till I come home and press publish. So I can't say when part 2 will come up. Part 2 will be up as you're watching it now. Part 2 is up to normal time, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock in the morning. Part 2 may not be up till later in the afternoon. But I will get both parts uploaded, part 1 and part 2 of TowerGate Day 500. Thank you so much for tuning in. All of you have been with me since, some of you since, people like Fern. Fern's been with me since, I think she was in my top 10 subscribers, if I remember correctly. She's been with me for a long time. Some of you have been with me for a very long time. So I appreciate all of you that are hanging in there and following the story. That's why I do this. As most of you know, I don't do this for the money. I don't make a single penny doing TowerGate videos. I'm not interested in making a penny doing TowerGate videos. I never will. That's why there's no ads running. And that's why I'm not asking you for donations or anything else. Don't want your money. I just want to tell the truth. I just want to discover what happened and see the criminals brought to justice. That's why I'm here. That's the only reason I'm here. And when that's solved, I don't know what happens after that. Where this all goes. Never been my intention to become a professional YouTube video maker. And I doubt it ever will be. I've got a pretty good job, by the way. I have a pretty good job. I make pretty good money. I like the job. I'll be doing it till I retire. That's my feelings. This will always be a hobby. And it will always be free. So I don't really ever... I just don't ever want to be compromised. The minute that you take money or run ads, now you go, uh-oh, if I say that, will I offend my advertisers? Oh, if I say that, will I offend somebody? Right now, if I offend somebody, I hope I don't. But if I do, unsubscribe. I'm here to tell the truth. Sometimes I get angry. I drop F-bombs I shouldn't do. I try to keep it as clean as possible. But I'm me. I'm just being myself, my friends. I thank you so much for tuning in. You guys have a very good afternoon and evening. I look forward to being back with you. And we'll get started on the next series of videos. We'll go from 501 to 1,000. And hopefully before we get there, we'll see indictments. People held accountable for their crimes. But the fact of the matter is, when you look at where we were, 100 videos ago, 150 videos ago, it was dark days. Trump was this close to being taken out. Today, the tables have turned. The momentum is with us. We're exposing the perps. Got a long way to go, but we are now winning. And eventually, we are going to win this fight. Stay strong. I'll see you guys soon. Thanks. Bye.